So, welcome back to Daily Transfer Update, and today we'll start off with an update on William Saliba. Last night, I did a stream, a 9 o'clock stream. Go back and check that out if you haven't already. But there was a report floating around last night in France that we could sign William Saliba this month if we stump up another £9 million. Now, the reports were going around that we'd agreed a deal, agreed personal terms, agreed a fee, everything was done, but we want him now. St Etienne ain't prepared to do that unless we pay an extra £9 million on top of the reported £25 million that we're buying him for. Now, this don't sit right with me. I don't think that he's worth 30 odd million pounds. There's other targets out there that are cheaper and more experienced and would probably slot in a lot better and quicker than an 18-year-old that's never really done it at the highest level, I would say. Yes, he plays for St Etienne. They play in the French league, but they're not a top-tier team, and he is not a top-tier centre-back right now. So, for me, paying 30 odd million pounds for him, I think is just ridiculous, and I don't want us to go and spend that sort of money on him when there's other players out there that we could get for cheaper or around the same sort of price that are a lot more experienced, that are ready now rather than a prospect for the future or a work in progress to come in and hope he does well. Go and spend the money somewhere else. Go and spend it on Izzo from Torino, or go and spend it on Eric Bailly, someone like that. Go and spend that sort of money. If you're going to do £30 million, go and spend it on somebody who you know is ready now, not a maybe and one for the future. But that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments section what you guys would do. Would you pay the extra £9 million and get him now? Or would you pay the less money and get him next season after loaning him out? Now, let's move on to a player that is linked with us this morning, and that is Keita Balde. Now, he's a Senegal international, 24 years old. He's just spent a season on loan at Inter Milan. He is owned by Monaco, that's his parent club, and he is linked with us for a move in the region of about £30 million. Left winger, can play right wing as well. Last season, he didn't exactly cover himself in glory. 30 games, 5 goals, 3 assists. Hence why Inter Milan don't want him, don't want to spend the £30 million out on him. Now, when he was at Lazio, he absolutely ripped that league up. He was fantastic for Lazio. Since then, it's been a downhill spiral. He hasn't really cut it at Monaco or at Inter Milan. And they are looking to get rid of him, you know, and I don't think that we should go and sign this guy. It's just my opinion on it. I don't think that he's good enough. If he can't cut it over in Italy, who's to suggest that he's going to come and cut it in a harder league up against better players? Not for me. £30 million that could be spent elsewhere. We've been linked to other players. One of them's a bit more expensive in Wilfried Zaha, and another one's a bit cheaper in Ryan Fraser. Both of them would be better options than going and spending it on Balde. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't really watch Italian football. I know of him. I've seen him play. And he was fantastic at Lazio, like I said. But since then, it's just been... It's like he hit a brick wall. It's like he got, well, yeah, I've made it now. And it's just not really panned out in the right way for him ever since. So, 30 million quid, not for me. Monaco can keep him as far as I'm concerned. Now, the second player we're going to speak about is a Borussia Dortmund defensive midfielder, and that is Julian Weigl. He is a 23-year-old defensive midfielder. He's under contract until 2021. He's played 25 games this season, 1 goal, 0 assists. Obviously, he's a defensive midfielder. He can also play centre-back. His total games for Borussia Dortmund is 151 games played, 3 goals, 1 assist. Now, there's reports going around this morning that we are linked to him for £27 million. He would come in, he would slot in. I think this might come off of the back of the Lucas Torreira story, although Torreira's come out and put that one to bed. So it seems a little bit odd that we're linked with a defensive midfielder when we've already got a defensive midfielder that's adequate. Why would we go and spend £27 million on another one, which is more than we spent on Torreira? But he is a very good player, But for me, again, another one that's it's just a weird transfer story. Why are we linked to this guy? Apparently, you know, it's come out in Germany. There's a few reports going around in Germany that we're linked to him and that he's going to come in, and we're going to have talks over the next coming days over a fee, £27 million, like I said. But for £27 million, I'd expect the guy to come in and start games every week. And the only way he's doing that is if we get rid of Lucas Torreira, unless we put the guy next to Lucas Torreira and get rid of Granit Xhaka. Which, again, I think could just be a weird thing to put a proper defensive midfielder right next to a proper defensive midfielder. I think you need somebody who's a little bit more than that. This guy is he is good. He is a very good passer. He's very good defensively. Like I said, he can play centre-back as well, so he is versatile. But not for me. Again, another one. I don't really think it's worth spending that sort of money on a player that's not going to start games every week if Torreira stays. Now, if Torreira goes, that's a different story. Then yes, maybe go and get him. But we shall see how far that Torreira story develops by the end of this transfer window. There's 6 weeks to go. 6 weeks today, in fact. And he's come out with a statement and put that one to bed, saying he's happy where he is. So we shall see that rumble on and on. Now, last but by no means least is a guy that I'd never heard of until this morning. And that is a guy called Erling Haaland, a 21-year-old centre-back who plays for FC Basel over in Switzerland. Under contract until 2022. And this season he has played 31 games, 2 goals, 2 assists, which isn't bad for a centre-back, if I'm being honest. It's pretty decent going. Now, we're apparently sending representatives over to Switzerland this weekend to discuss a move. The fee is in the region of about £7 million, which really, really cheap. But again, I can't really tell you a great deal about this guy. I don't really know him. I don't know of him. I never heard of him until this morning. I know that from doing a little bit of research, he's been out on loan to a couple of clubs over in Switzerland. He's an under-21 international for them. And he's played quite a few games this season. Listen, you know, he's played quite a lot of games, 31 games, which is pretty much all of their campaign. I think he played 24 league games. The rest were European qualifiers, like for Europa League and stuff like that, and then cup games. So, you know, they rate him highly. Obviously, he's played that many games when he's that young. That would suggest that. But would he be able to come in and hit the ground running? Or is he going to be one that's going to go straight into our youth setup and maybe be on a bench for the odd game here and there, maybe start the odd cup game, League Cup, Europa League knockouts, qualify, can't even speak, Europa League group stages, I'll get there in the end. Could he start them sort of games? You know, we've seen that we've put the kids out in them competitions before. They've done reasonably well. They got us out the group stage of the Europa League the season before the one just ended. And they tend to get us quite far in the cups as well. So, I don't know. I don't know anything about him, if I'm being completely honest. So I'll just be sitting here and blagging it. But if anyone does watch Swiss football and does watch Basel and knows of this guy, leave it in the comments section. Let me know what your thoughts are on him. For £7 million, I don't know. I'm not too sure. But, you know, we are in need of a centre-back, maybe even 2. So it could be him plus one other. If that is the case, then I suppose £7 million ain't that bad, is it? But if he's going to be the main target at centre-back, then there's got to be a steward's inquiry, because we need better than somebody like this. And, you know, that's not taking nothing away from him. But I don't know enough about him to put him up on a pedestal. So for now, I'm just going to leave it up to you guys. So leave it all in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts on the William Saliba extra 9 million. Do we pay it? Do we not pay it? Leave that in the comment section. Obviously, on this guy as well, Erling Haaland, leave that in the comment section. Let me know if it's worth the risk. Also on Julian Weigl, leave that down there as well. Any German league experts, feel free to chip in and let me know whether he would cut it in the Premier League or whether he'd flop. And also on Balde Diao, from absolutely sensational. I really should start this video again. From absolutely sensational to absolute flop inside 2 seasons. So for me, I don't think any of them should be joining Arsenal. That's just my thoughts and opinions. Let me know yours. Subscribe if you're new. My live stream will be as normal at 5 o'clock this evening. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Until then, I'm out of here. Laters, peeps.